Okay, this might be an unpopular opinion, but ladies, I think if your boyfriend ever asks to be in an open relationship with you, he is so full of shit. And these are 3 reasons why. Number 1, a man who loves you is never, ever, ever going to be comfortable sharing you with another guy, ever. Number 2, if he's asking to be open, it might be because he wants to explore his options and see if he can do better. And so he doesn't really care if you're doing the same because, again, he doesn't respect you that much. Or number 3, he's incapable of being monogamous to one person. And so instead of just being honest about that, he's going to pretend that you're both in this mutual open relationship that's empowering, knowing full well that you are not going to be sleeping around because men and women are wired differently. And so men can spread their seed and not catch feelings. Women, when they're emotionally bonded to one person, aren't able to do that. And I know there's always that one girl who's like, I'm the exception to the rule. I don't buy it. And I personally think it'd be so much more respectful to be like, hey, I kind of like the variety of multiple women, but I want you to be loyal to me. Now, maybe not the answer you wanted to hear, but lying and trying to pretend it's an open relationship when if you were to sleep around, he'd be pissed about it, to me just shows that he doesn't respect you. And honestly, again, it's just a load of crap. But those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments and follow for more.
No way!
Fam, first of all, I want to say the idea of men asking to be in an open relationship is hard to buy since they are the lowest probable person to request this. I'm convinced that 70% plus of those requests come from women.
You idiot gorilla! What study do you have to back that up?
A solid study? Well, the article by Josie Griffith, link in the description, covers the studies. I, on the other hand, only have to use logic to know why women are more likely to ask for an open relationship. First, men won't ask. They will just sleep around in secret. Secondly, men in general don't want their main woman sleeping around. Thirdly, even if his woman was bi, a man in that relationship would require both of them to share the other girl in a 3-way. I want to add on to what this queen said about a man being upfront with sleeping around. Ladies, that would be an HVM. The higher his value, the more leverage he has. Don't get me wrong, ladies. I'm not saying hearing the truth is easy. I am saying most HVMs, although they have the options to sleep around, usually will not if you keep them happy. In other words, keep him drained and don't argue so much, and he won't smash the side piece. Moving on.
So I have a guy friend I've had for 18 years. And the other day we were talking about, and I was like, oh, well, you know, my approach has always just been to treat men the way they treat women in society. And he was like, oh my God, what? I never noticed this, but yeah, that's exactly what you've been doing this whole time since I've known you. And I was like, yeah, it took you this long to realize that? Since 8th grade, I've been treating men the way they treat women. And I always said, you know, if a guy shows me that he actually respects women, I'll treat him with respect back. But it's only happened a handful of times, maybe 6 men my whole life. So in the meantime, I just do like reverse misogyny at dudes. Like my favorite move is to call a guy sugar tits. Or if someone passed me in a hall and was walking away from me, I'd yell after him, hate to see you leave, but love to watch you go. Sometimes I do one of these things, hey, and follow it up with, tomorrow why don't you wear something a little for me, In class discussion, if a man said something I didn't like, I'd go, oh God, you're so much cuter when you're not talking. And it was surprisingly effective. I once had a high school teacher told me I wasn't allowed to stand up while he was sitting because he felt emasculated.
Mama say that happiness is from magic rays of sunshine that come down when you're feeling blue.
Fam, I don't want to say that some of this sounds fabricated, but let's just say that parts of what this queen said kind of felt like a overstuffed padded bra. Okay, maybe some of the things she said to some of the guys she knows is plausible, but calling a guy sugar tatas, I find that one a little difficult to believe. And the teacher story sounds about as real as a tooth fairy. Unless, of course, we are talking about a gender studies male womanist.
You knuckleheaded gorilla! She is obviously a strong and independent woman!
Oh really? How dare you assume this queen's pronouns? She's an independent something. Hey, I'm not criticizing her style. I love the movie The Craft as much as the next guy.
I can feel him running through my veins. He's still in me.
That doesn't mean a woman who is into 90s goth fashion actually followed through with the things she claimed. Moving on.
This taps into something really, really big, really important. So here we go. First of all, this is a red herring. To say, I'm not responsible for racism because I've never lynched anyone is exactly the same thing as saying I'm not responsible for patriarchy because I've never lynched anyone. You benefit from that system. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily like the active, violent instigator of that system. But taking it to extremes like this is an attempt to excuse responsibility or privilege within that oppressive system. Second of all, this is called the villain, victim, hero trichotomy, and we talk about this in Theater of the Oppressed. In every oppressive system, there are 3 roles, the villain, the victim, and the hero, but there are only 2 players, the oppressor and the oppressed. The oppressor, playing the role of the villain when called out for their villainous ways, either moves into the role of the hero, where we see things like white saviorism or male heroes, or into the victim, where we hear things like not all men or white women's tears.
She's going to sink, Captain. But she can't sink. She's unsinkable.
Hold up, fam. This queen is actually saying all men have to take some form of culpability for someone else's crimes based solely on being the same gender? Really, fam? Talk about guilty by association. What is this queen smoking? Because Snoop Dogg probably wants to get just as elevated. Her oversimplification is amazingly obtuse. Let me get this straight. Someone commits a crime, you claim it is my responsibility to do something about it. If I say yes, I am a hero. If I say no, I am trying to be a victim. How about door number 3? And I tell you to shut the flip up if you aren't even going to hold yourself to your own BS standards.
This leaves the members of the oppressed group to either have to comfort their oppressor or thank their oppressor for saving them. So this comment is moving into the role of the victim, where it wants me, as a member of the oppressed group in patriarchy, to go no, 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 and offer comfort to them. Now this is where it gets witchy. Whenever you are a member of the oppressor group within an oppressive system, a white person in a white supremacy, a man in a patriarchy, it is your job to do your own shadow work, to explore your villainous ways within that system, own your shadow within that work, and work to alchemize it into the light that it needs to be to dismantle this shit. And no one can do that shadow work for you. It's your responsibility to alchemize your shit. And if you're interested in more of the musings of a mystic and esoteric witch, stick around.
How about no? The funny thing is, the audacity of this queen to automatically speak from a pure genderist, egocentrical point of view to label all men automatically guilty and think she somehow has some magical powers to mandate men from her point of view of what is needed from them?
Oh, really? How's this any different from you constantly telling women what they need to improve on, you blockheaded gorilla?
Oh, that's easy. 1, I'm trying to help lonely women out there understand men better so they can be happy. And 2, you don't hear me telling women that they are associated with any kind of crime based on their gender. Now, I do admit that if women take my advice, I will cause more cats to be homeless and cause box wine sales to go down. But hey, I always say, there's a new Crazy Cat Lady starter kit being sold every day. I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.